before I get into the back ends, I thought I'd just go through some of the fibres that are out there. The original fibres through the 80s and the 90s, it was like a flat tape that had little slits in. And so that's the middle one, the slit film. And the idea of that, it's a very strong product. It wears really well. And the top little fibres that's sticking up. So what we have with synthetic grass is that the infill comes up to somewhere between, say, 15 and 19 mil of exposed fibre. And that's what you're playing on. And that keeps the ball speed where we want it to be. At the same time as while you're running backwards and forwards across it, those little splits start to open up, and it's what we call it folds over or crushes over. And it does help encapsulate the infill, stops it from spreading around, but it can make it slippery. So that's where we'll get into maintenance a bit later on, the importance of maintenance in keeping the fibre. As I said, it's the fibre standing up with the ability for the studs to get down into that rubber or performance infill that makes it a playable system. Through the late 90s and into the 2000s, they came up with monofilament, and everyone came up with different shapes. The thing with the monofilament, it looked and played, it's like grass a bit more, but it had the problem that if it was crushed over, it didn't come back. And it's a bit like a piece of paper. If you kind of fold the paper or curve the paper and you fold it over, it will flip back. But as soon as you get a crease in it, it just stays down. So the trick is to keep the maintenance up, to keep it up in a vertical. The thing with the monofilament was that it didn't fibrillate. It was really strong, and it kept the access to the infill to get the studs in a lot longer than what the slit film did. When we come to different sports, the good thing with split film, as I said before, it does split and fold over and encapsulate the rubber. It stops the splash. It's quite interesting to see a soccer ball bounce, and the tail of black rubber that comes up with it is surprising. That, you know, it'll come up maybe 200-300 mil, follow the ball. It'll be like this wave that follows the ball as it bounces down and follows up. So especially with rugby, where you tend to be down with your face into the turf a fair bit, some of the manufacturers have come up with a hybrid or a dual product where they'll put 8 or 9 monofilaments with one slit film, and they're able to actually stitch that down and up within the same stitch. So if you actually pick up a piece of synthetic grass and flip it over on the back, they're made up of, each of the stitch rates going in and out is about 8 to 10 fibres. It's not just one single fibre going up and down, and then it moves along 10 mil and stitches another 10 fibres, and there'll be needles going side by side, and depending on the width of the gauge, whether it's 16 mil or 19 mil normally for soccer, AFL and rugby, then you're getting these, every time it goes down and up, you're getting 10 fibres. So for rugby, this became a better product. It stopped that splash. It is a bit more expensive. I think in general it's probably about $1.50 to $2 a square metre. So it would certainly be good for AFL. There's no problems with playing football, European soccer on it. It doesn't play any different, but it certainly does keep the splash down. The other one by itself, with the infill, is what we call a dual polymer. There's only one of them that I'm aware of that's been produced in the world. And what it has the dark green in the middle is nylon. So they've gone right back to the Astrodome dames and said, well, nylon was so tough and stayed so rigid, it'd be great to use it as an inner core and then put the softer polyethylene and coat it around the outside. And this product, I think I've laid 2 of them in New South Wales. I haven't laid any in Victoria, but the field at Bicentennial for Bayside Council, I still think is probably the best field that Old Turf One's ever built. I reckon it's one of the best fields ever around. For the amount of play it gets, 3 years later, it looked like a brand new field. It was incredible how strong this fibre was in staying upright, and then obviously allowing the performance. The last little diagram on the right hand side is what we call a texturized yarn. It's a texturized monofilament, and if anyone's seen hockey fields or high performance tennis fields, this is the product that's used for that surface. This is literally just a monofilament, a single fiber that's been heat treated, and it's just like anything. When you put a blowtorch to plastic, it all starts to shrink and get that curly profile. The benefit of this is that obviously it's very tight. It doesn't need as much sand, but it's non-directional, and that meaning that if you've got fibres that are sticking up, when it's all rolled up as a carpet and then you roll it back out again, all the fibres have been laid down in one direction. They've been kind of pushed over from the plant to when you get it on site, or from storage when you go and lay it. So it has a tendency to have a slight bias. It kind of leans one way, whereas the texturized monofilament doesn't have that. So if you're playing tennis, the ball should really bounce straight through and true. You can use it on cricket in practice nets to get a non-directional bias, but it's also used on hockey. It's very tough in terms of the wearability. It's normally, where the slit film and the monofilament, we're talking products from 40 mil to 70 mil. This is from a 13 mil to an 18 mil product, so a lot shorter pile.